Team Fortress 2 was the first game I owned on Steam. When you think TF2, chances are you picture 2-4, Highertower, Sawmill, Thunder Mountain, and not the thousands of empty, freaky community servers, which we're going to look at right now. Before jumping into the empty servers, something that always intrigues me are servers with one player in them, especially when it's super late at night. Is it just a bot wandering around an empty map? Is it someone who literally fell asleep on their keyboard? Is it a ghost? I had to join one to investigate this myself. My guess before joining this one was that it was simply an AFK player, but to my surprise, it was a real person here, just kind of solo pushing the payload cart. No bots to oppose him, no other players, nothing. When I ran into him, he tried to play dead for some reason by just standing around, not moving or doing anything at all, really. But when I gave him a good whack with my meat, he woke back up. I asked him the obvious question of what he was up to, expecting some kind of response. He then proceeded to run over to some water, drown himself, and never responded or returned. What a peculiar incident. Makes for a decent gaming creepypasta. Multiplayer servers are a pretty unique thing to TF2. Times 10 servers crank up the stats of all weapons by, well, 10 times. I think there's also times 20, 50, 100, and so on, but times 10 is already plenty. I don't know if every weapon here is actually 10 times the stats or if they have a little bit of balancing, but it definitely feels like they're that cranked up. The most iconic weapon to come out of this has to be the Beggar's Bazooka. Affectionately referred to as the sneeze gun, this mode takes that to the absolute max. Combined with the gunboats, which in this mode essentially negate rocket jump damage altogether, you can sneeze all over the map and occasionally get a kill. Maybe. Sometimes. If you're very, very lucky. Yeah! When this has a full server of actual players using the most busted loadouts possible, and not just bots, it is actual chaos and unlike anything else in any game. Achoo! Oh man, I sure could go for some Team Fortress 2 Skyrim Zombie survival right about now. I wish that was a thing.
What? Impossible! Inconceivable!
This one was pretty neat. I thought it was just going to be a shitty asset rip map porting Skyrim stuff to TF2. I was very surprised to see that it was actually Skyrim stuff remade in TF2's art style. While I was playing this, I thought it was interesting, but not super crazy, until I realized that it wasn't just this small area, but 3 more phases past this as well. I captured the first point, and it moved on to a whole new zone. Unfortunately, I was tricked and deceived into walking backwards off a cliff after some random guy joined and started chasing me, so I didn't see much of it.
No! No!
The map then started from scratch, but this time I had to fight this guy off the whole time. I don't know why this dude was in a 3 AM TF2 Skyrim Zombie survival mode doing 1v1s. Only in TF2 will you get this experience. I captured the point, but after this, another guy joined, and with that, it basically became impossible to complete. I saw a bit more of the second map during this though, and it had that same Skyrim zing. If you want to see where the world-famous TF2 Skyrim Zombie survival map goes next, you'll have to beat it yourself. Who hasn't ever thought to themselves, man, I wish I could play on Hyrule from Ocarina of Time 3D for the Nintendo 3DS in Team Fortress 2. I know I have.
What? No way! You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be yanking my chain! That's impossible!
This one was legit the entire map of Hyrule from Ocarina of Time, including music, interiors, breakable objects, and even working minigames, like the shooting gallery, which even has a reward if you complete it. It might seem like a simple port job, but this is much more elaborate than that. Getting all of this to work, the music, the minigames, the interactions, all while having it not run like shit, is actually pretty crazy, and almost definitely took quite a while to do. Props to the mappers on this one. I was on it for a good while just admiring it, which I think is kind of the main point of the map. I was also hitting some totally legit buck-nutty b-hops here. Check out these mad skills.
Yo, admin! Somebody call the admin! Look at his hops! Oh my god! Look at his hops! He's going crazy! What the fuck?
Sadly, despite the map's quality, only like 1 or 2 servers are actually running it, and neither of them have players. If they just tack on trade underscore to the map's file name, it'll have dozens of servers within a matter of days. That's a guarantee. Hey, want some extra videos? Check out the Patreon page. We've got new stuff on there every month. Fully edited, fully exclusive. It's good stuff, trust me. I joined this one with no idea what it was. Not a single clue. It was called RPG Fortress, so I assumed it was just a server with like stats you could level or something like that. I did not expect it to be a full-on RPG made within TF2. This shit had quests, leveling, crafting, mining, farming, cooking, potion brewing, magic, boss fights, skills, classes, races, inventory management, and even more on top of all that. It's even got slots for 5 different character saves. This shit means business. What happened to my spy? You start off in a little tutorial zone, surrounded with a bunch of NPCs. Each one of these fellas have a quest for you, teaching you an individual aspect of the mod. One guy teaches you the general functions, another one teaches you how to cook, another how to mine. You get the idea. They're not just one and done either. Even in the tutorial zone, these guys had full quest lines with dialogue, some of which interconnected with one another. The first guy you meet has a full quest line about killing chickens. You started out by slaughtering the little fellas, and it concludes in a fight with a ravenous beast of a bird. All of them are just Scout TF2 with chicken cosmetics on. Same thing goes for the bears a little bit later on, which are just heavies. It's cute. This server was honestly really cool, and I expected it to be a big game mode I'd simply never heard of, but it's only on this one server, which is completely empty most of the time. If this ever goes down, it might be gone for good. Initially, I was kind of evening out my skills, going for a jack-of-all-trades build. Then I decided that that's stupid and for losers, so I dumped every single bit of XP from that point on into pure gun damage. My shitty little pistol was wrecking goons within seconds by the end of my stay. And I managed to get pretty far, I think. I don't actually know. I played for around an hour, with a lot of that being questing and killing, including the first main boss, and ended up at level 21. But to go to the main city, you have to reach level 750. Now, for all I know, this could just kind of fizzle out and end around where I left, or there is actually hours worth of stuff left to do. There's like nothing online about this mode either, so I actually have no idea what lies ahead in this. Right when I was about to wrap up, some random guy joined and clearly had no idea what he was doing, so I took him under my wing. I passed down my intricate knowledge and sage wisdom by teaching him the controls and got him set up and ready to face the world. The cycle begins anew. Well-respected and highly renowned TF2 community member Lazy Purple is the owner of a number of custom servers on TF2. This one here was running a true classic, one of the most famous and well-known Team Fortress 2 custom maps, one of the greatest to ever be released, Wega's Challenge. I don't know what this is. I think I'm just not hip with the kids anymore because I actually have no idea. It was like an itch.io brain rot game ported to TF2. It's like Pac-Man, where you gotta collect these little Luigis, or whatever, and then get jump scared by evil Luigi. Wega. Ouija? I don't know. Bring back Ouija. I could get behind that. I was having a gander at bottom of the server browser, 300 ping servers, and saw one called Meme Machine, running a map called Lethargy Pools. I figured it was worth a look. This was a classic style crack map, but done in a very competent and well-constructed way. It seems to have only been made around a year ago as well. Crack maps are back on the menu, boys. At first glance, the bright colors and meme JPEGs littering the walls might make you think that it's just a hastily thrown together shit map, but it's actually very well made, and I ended up enjoying it a lot. There's plenty of silly little references in here. Yakuza, Killer 7, Pilot Red Sun, Pizza Tower, Dead Space, Mug Root Beer, and a bunch more. With that said, there are also like a lot of in-jokes and other references that I do not get. Still a cool map though. The place is entirely water park themed with a completely nonsensical layout. It is massive too. I actually got completely lost in this maze of a map like a dozen times. There's random tube slides, lazy rivers, pools, sludge pumps, showers, and other water park stuff like randomly placed bottomless pits. I was having a pretty fun time trying to find all the Easter eggs and neat little references until the server decided fun time was over and forced a map change.
No, I want to stay on Lethargy Pools.
I didn't give a shit about whatever the next map was and swapped over to another server hosting the pools. Now that I had more time to get a better look at things, I started noticing that the map is very slop, slime, and sludge themed. Lots of slime girls, as well as a bunch of references specifically to the What's for Dinner Pilot Red Sun video.
Slop. Slime.
In one of the main rooms, there's a big door that won't open unless you find 6 green slime head crabs. That sounded annoying, so I loaded up a custom server and tried no clipping into the room. It killed me and said no cheating. If you want to see what's in the Lethargy Pools secret room, you're going to have to find those green slimes yourself. At what point is it not even TF2 anymore? Highertower was a bit of a meme map when it first released, and since then, from what I've seen, it's become a bit of a staple for weird gimmick servers like this one. We've moved on from a simple ×10 server to ×1000. This time, whenever I overloaded the sneeze gun, my gunboats were reducing their self-damage into the negatives, so I could almost instantly get health in the tens of thousands. I thought this was empty, but there was a solo sniper in here on the opposing team. He was just blasting away bots the second they walked out of the door with an Omega SMG that was shooting like 200 bullets per second. I was instantly vaporized the moment I walked outside. I thought the dude was cheating or something, but it was legit. From this point forward, it was my mission to sneeze gun my new arch nemesis, Butter Noodles. I was sneezing around the map until he caught me in his infinite laser beam and pinned me down. But my gunboat health strat countered this. It was a stalemate. Neither of us could kill one another. It was also the loudest goddamn thing I have ever heard in the entire game. I managed to dodge and weave my way out of it, but he ran away like a coward. Through some careful maneuvering and strategy, I managed to get up behind him and sneezed up his ass, turning him into a collection of meat chunks spread about the map. I then laugh emoted. I think this pissed him off big time, because he went pyro to deflect my powerful sneezes after this. I went to spawn camp him, like a true gamer, and he ended up catching me in his trap. I'm not kidding here, he held down the air blast button for 1.5 minutes straight. Luckily, I was saved by a random heavy that joined the match, killed him, and then left. My guardian angel. I tried out some other weapons after this too. The grenade launcher just shat out pills completely at random all around you. The server could not keep up with it. I also tried out the winger. Minecraft and TF2 have a strangely connected history, mostly on the TF2 side. They were both having their peak years in the early to mid 2010s, and this led to a shitload of Minecraft custom maps in TF2. There were Minecraft Deathrun maps, Minecraft jailbreak maps, but the most common were Minecraft trade maps, which we'll have a look at here. Get yourself ready for the Minecraft trade server Power Hour. I'll be honest and say that a lot of these Minecraft maps kind of blend together in my head, but I'm fairly certain I have played this one in the past. You can tell this one's real old due to it using crusty, old-school beta Minecraft textures. There's nothing too notable with this map specifically, but it is a pretty good introduction to these Minecraft maps, just being loaded with a ton of Easter eggs. I uncovered multiple in my 5 minutes that I was here. Secret areas behind breakable walls and behind paintings, spawnable items that blow up or change the map, you get the picture. This one is another real oldie, and quite a popular one too. It's more of an open area, where players usually just hung out and talked, rather than fought. Love and peace. Many classic TF2 server shenanigans videos took place on these sacred grounds.
I do not like this.
This one includes the Nether, and even the Aether, featuring a cameo by evil, scary hero Brian. Brian! Idiot. I have a gun. Overall, this is a pretty well-known map, but I didn't play on it a ton. That's not to say never, though. I definitely did at least a few times, but if I remember correctly, I usually avoided this map because, for some reason, it just attracted the most obnoxious people to it. It didn't matter what server was running it. For some reason, like moths to a lamp, it just brought in the most mic spammy, annoying, worst kinds of players. With that said, I might literally be making up these memories in my head. It was a long time ago. If you've got a sharp mind, you might remember this one being covered a few years back, pretty briefly. This is that same map, but with a couple updates. 196 of them, I guess. Out of all the Minecraft trade maps, this is probably the most popular one. There are still full servers running different versions of this map. Some random guy joined this one with me, said nothing, and just did voice lines. We had a good time.
Thanks, Pally.
That's the kind of experience you can only get on TF2. Surf. One of the most iconic custom modes in any game. Primarily known for its numerous appearances in shitty commentary videos from 2016.
Guys, we got big news today. Huge drama going down with Binkle Boy.
I don't know the differences between TF2 surfing and stuff like Counter-Strike Source and Global Offensive, but I was pretty cracked at TF2 surfing, if I may be so bold as to state. At the same time, I was utter dogshit at it, with no in-between. 8 a.m. Saturday morning. I got up bright and early for this session. I log on, and what do I see? Hawk-Tua Deathrun filled to the brim with 31 out of 32 players connected. I had to join in to max it out and see what the fuck this was.
I'm Steve.
What the hell? This map is awful. Just complete brain rot, but I don't think it's supposed to be good. I was watching this just sort of play out for a few minutes before things really hit me. It is 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. It's a nice Saturday morning. What do I do on my Saturday morning? I hop on Deathrun Hawk-Tua. I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this. Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike are, from what I know, the only games to have the phenomenon of item farming idle servers. And I don't mean idling like in an MMO where you leave it running for like skills or whatever. I mean straight up just leaving the game running on a map specifically made to farm item drops. Now these aren't some new thing. They've been around for basically as long as these games have had drops. The first one of these was released literally the day after item drops were added to the game. TF2 ones are a bit odd though, as while most are pretty much just the bare essentials, some have all kinds of weird side areas. This one here has a big surf slope, as well as a chill zone you can get up to by walking along an invisible path or sticky jumping up to it like a true gamer. A small bit of my playtime in TF2 is on idle servers, idling, obviously, but also playing them too. For some reason these just have some kind of draw. I don't know what it is about them. I have seen servers of these completely full, and only like maybe 6 people were actually idle. The rest were all messing around, showing off their funny signs, and just hanging out. I can guarantee, if you hop on TF2 right now, you can find an idle server exactly like I just described. Next up was the Backrooms TF2 map on an adults-only furry server at 4:30 in the morning. God, I love TF2. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of went into this one expecting it to be a steaming pile of shit like most Backrooms maps, but it was actually pretty well made. It had a bunch of variety with different types of backrooms, all having a ton of Easter eggs within them too. Illusory walls, Chuck E. Cheese, wall scribbles, evil demon shadow men, and overall, it was pretty far from the thrown together piece of shit I expected going into it. I was actually having a pretty good time just looking around. I truly did not expect that. Bro got trolled once. At exactly 4:38 in the morning, another person joined into the Backrooms Furry 18+ server. They were just sitting in spawn when I found them though. At one point a few minutes later, we ran into one another and did a little tag team exploration of the map. Me and my new best bro found the secret birthday extravaganza bonanza room, and we had a great time. As a very quick little aside here, this trend is like dead now, right? I just want an update on that if anyone well versed in the Backrooms is watching. I haven't kept up with anything internet horror in a few years. I actually have no idea how I've never seen this one. It's Super Smash Bros. In TF2. What a genius idea. In this one, rather than health damage, you take percentage damage. The higher your percentage, the easier you are to fling around the map. This is a subtle reference to a little video game series called Super Smash Bros. This actually works surprisingly well in TF2, especially with rockets and air strafing being such a big part of it. If this had actual players in it, I could see it being a pretty decent mode for practicing air shots, movement, and just having a good time. I checked the server browser, and sadly, it looks like this mode is pretty much dead. There were only 2 servers running it, and both were empty. I thought this would be one of the modes that had like at least one populated server, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Now luckily the bots like kinda work on it, so I could see how it played. But on most maps, they just kinda stand there and do nothing but shoot at you. I would have liked to have seen this back in its prime. It seems like it was a pretty decent mode. I wish I knew about it earlier. Mario Kart used to be a pretty popular genre of map in TF2. I've discussed them previously on the channel, but it was pretty brief. So we're back for round 2. These were usually hosted on low gravity, always crits kind of servers and other ones like that. It seems like now though, they are pretty much toast. There were only 6 servers running these and a whole 0 people playing on them. At least when I checked. The first one I tried was a classic version, I think possibly being the classic version from 2008. This one was just littered with a ton of references from the era. No More Heroes, Metal Gear Solid 3, iPods, stuff like that. It's got a few vehicles that just kind of drive around in circles too, like the famous cat bus. It's a pretty silly map, not meant to be taken that seriously, and people liked it so much that there are like 1.5 million different versions of it. Usually, these consisted of basically no changes at all, just swapping out a picture or two for something the creator liked. But occasionally, they would also change the layout or add whole new areas as well. Sometimes these would literally just add a server clan logo somewhere on the map, and that's actually it. One of the 6 servers running it had a version from 2014, and it was definitely from 2014. This one had some more significant changes, adding new areas and swapping out a ton of images and memes. This was mostly to add My Little Pony memes, Slender memes, and Minecraft stuff. Again, 2014. They moved all the No More Heroes stuff that was replaced with ponies down to the creepy basement where Travis belongs. This one had a whole separate pool area too, which was pretty neat. I don't know what it has to do with Mario Kart, but whatever. Can I get the TF2 burger, please? Can I get the TF2 burger, please? Evil Scout has seen what you have done. He knows of your antics. Another thing I briefly touched on before is the fact that this map is without a doubt most known for its use in the video Team Fabulous 2 by Kitty0706. It's one of the biggest TF2 videos not created by Valve. He passed away over a decade ago now, but his videos, especially this one, still impact the TF2 community to this day. It's genuinely one of the most iconic TF2 anythings of all time. Its legacy is kind of insane. Being able to add these kinds of TF2 Gmod animations to playlists was actually the main reason I made a YouTube channel when I was a kid. Team Fabulous 2 and a bunch of other videos like it make up a considerable chunk of the earliest videos on my favorites playlist. There was also a giant reanimation project a few years back made in Kitty's memory that a ton of animators participated in. It's a really cool project, and if you've never heard of either of these things, go give them a watch. It even had its own Mario Kart map released alongside it, which replaces a bunch of the memes with art of Kitty and references to the video. Just as a small aside, the TF2 source filmmaker and Gmod animation community is such a cool thing that was way ahead of its time. There were, and still are, so many cool projects coming out all the time. Elaborate animations, shit posts, and even full movies. It helps that these were fully encouraged by Valve with the now retired Saxy Awards, where they would give an in-game trophy to the best animation in a variety of different categories. These were such a unique event, and I wish they didn't retire them. Also, some of the things people have animated with just Gmod are actually insane. It's kind of embarrassing, but I found TF2 through one of these old Gmod videos. Now, it wasn't a classic one, but a now deleted video called Team Fortress 2 Yeah Toast from like 2010. Now, if you've seen the Flash video, this is where I first saw the game and thought that it was called Team for Trees 2 because I was a dumb, stupid idiot boy, which is why I couldn't find it afterwards and forgot about it for years. I think I showed the Yeah Toast video to my parents to get them to buy TF2 for me, saying, look, it's just a funny toast game, ha ha ha, trying to hide the part where the demo man gets sawed in half vertically and turned into a blood mist. They did not buy this blatant lie, and I didn't get TF2 until like 2013. To wrap this up though, I gotta say, I kinda wish Mario Kart servers were still popping. Even if it was just like one server that had a decent amount of players. It sucks that like actually nobody is here in any of these. This was on a Saturday night too, not even something crazy like Wednesday at 5 in the morning. You'd think there'd be people here, but I guess they've moved on. I've never played parkour servers, so this was new to me. We've got some fresh content here. I ate shit a few times, but pretty quickly got into the swing of things, and I was getting a damn good run going. I was just bombing through the map, completely blind. Then I took a step back 1 inch too far and ruined my perfect run. Oh! I hope you're all excited to hit up the Puppyboy Dogpound. Am I excited? No. Welcome to Puppyboy Dogpound. It really is epicness. Rules. Don't be cringe. The map here was one simply called Cyberpunk. Visually, it looks like a mess, but it's got No More Heroes music playing, so it gets points for that. To be completely honest, I kinda like the chaotic, low-quality look the map has. It's got lots of gaming and anime references that top out at like 2008 at most. Jet Set Radio, No More Heroes, Fooly Cooly, and more stuff like that. Do you want to go to the Portal Cafe? Now the easy joke on this one would be to say, oh man, this one's giving me a headache. But like unironically, not as a bit, it was making me dizzy. I still like the map though. This one's like making me dizzy. Now, if you thought this would be the end of the Puppyboy Dogpound, you couldn't be more incorrect. I did a few more maps on it, not really worth discussing. One was a normal Payload map, and the other was some kind of falling deathmatch King of the Hill map. The next one, though, was actually pretty cool. It was a Donkey Kong Payload map. You push Mario as the payload, and I think the other team knocks barrels down at you as you do. I got Mario up to the top, saving the princess. This is all kind of underselling how actually cool of an idea and execution this is. It's not the most insane feat of mapping in TF2 history, but it's a neat little map that does exactly what it sets out to do, and does it quite well. I wanted to see what was going on around the globe, so I scrolled way down into servers with triple-digit ping. I ended up joining into what I think is a strange Russian server that was running a map called Idle JPCity. Now, it's supposed to just be an idle server, but it's got a ton of stuff in it for some reason. Skyscrapers, manga shops, restaurants, real advertisements, a working train, and other Japanese stuff. It's even got a full block of houses where each one was fully accessible. And at the train station, you could head on down to the beach. What a weird idle map. I have no idea when this one's from, but going off the Persona 4 ads, I'm gonna say maybe around 2012, 2013. The map felt more like a weird gold source map from like Sven Co-op or something though, at least to me. I didn't get a chance to fully explore it before the server swapped over to a Five Nights at Freddy's idle map. Epic. Can I get the FNAF burger? I wasn't expecting to do a 4 AM Russian Five Nights at Freddy's TF2 idle server, but here we are. Almost instantly upon the map change, some random guy joined into this one and was omega tryhard killing me for some reason. Like, I swapped over to his team, and he instantly swapped over to the other team to continue fighting me. I don't know what his deal was. I just wanted to explore the map, so I went AFK for a bit until he tuckered himself out. This guy saw a fucking FNAF server with one player and made it his mission to bully the person into submission. Waiting him out ended up being a waste of time anyway, since I couldn't find out how to actually get inside the famous restaurant on this one. All I could do was smack cars around with my fish. I hopped into a private server just to see if there was more to it, and to nobody's surprise, it was a one-to-one recreation of Freddy Bear Pizza, but in TF2, and with strange Russian Easter eggs around the building. I don't know why this had to be an idle map, but what do I know? I'm just a silly fool. I have played a fair amount of Rats maps in old Gold Source games, and it hit me while recording this that I have never seen one of them in TF2. Not once. Either these are a lost art, or I somehow just dodged them over the years. After giving them a search, there was one single server hosting a Rats map, so I assume it's the former. This one was pretty alright for a Rats map though. Sadly, since it's TF2, these being based off the creator's 90s teenager bedroom is no longer a thing. This one was a little home office area with a few toys on the floor like this dollhouse. The computers here had Windows 7 with a little Freerider gameplay going on. Pretty sick. They also had Command & Conquer and Sims 2. I was about to wrap it up since it was one of the more basic Rats maps I've seen when the server sent a pop-up message saying, "We miss you, Garth." I looked into it, and it's exactly what you think it's for. They're not a joke or anything. It's easy to forget that these weird little servers with no one in them can sometimes hold their own entire histories that are basically completely undocumented. There have likely been thousands of collective man-hours spent on just this one server. That same thing probably goes for a lot of these servers today. Some of these might have 5, 10, 15 or more years of stories behind them. I don't know. Just something to think about. It was real late at night, and I noticed a strangely large amount of Slender Fortress servers running in the browser. Some of these were like full as well. There were around 10 of these, maybe more. That's like double the amount that Mario Kart has running. I have never even heard of this mode. Why does Slender shit even still exist? Who's playing this? What's going on? I thought Slender was dead in the water and has been for years, but here we are. Slender Fortress 2. Shit is popping off, fucking apparently. This was also the longest download by far, and it's not even close. It took a good 10 minutes to join this one. I will say though, it was very elaborate. This really was a full conversion of TF2, transforming it into a Slender clone, if you've ever wanted that for some reason. It's got a flashlight, sprint, custom maps, and even voice acting.
Why don't we get visitors down here?
This is voice acting? And the server crashed as soon as the round started, every single time. Oh no. The Slender Man cut my Wi-Fi. Oh shit. It was now exactly 4:52 a.m. I was very tired, and I saw a 31 out of 32 player Slender Among Us server. Epic. I joined it.
Slender, he's real. I saw him on Gravity Falls.
My speculation about this being an active Slender mode was incorrect. It was not Slender at all. It was actually just Among Us, but in TF2. Two of the most packed and active servers I've seen while doing this have been Among Us and Hawk Tuah servers at the crack of dawn. What a game. These people can't be real. I don't believe that. Similarly to Minecraft, My Little Pony was having its biggest years right around the same time as TF2. The number of bronies that were also TF2 players was surprisingly high. Like, there were a lot. It was kind of a big part of the game for a while. Pony servers, pony mods, crossover videos, it was a whole thing. Nowadays it looks like there's still fragments of that era, like this server here, but it's generally died out from what I've seen. I'd like to go more in-depth on it because it's an interesting little part of TF2's history, which probably has some wacky, wild stories. But I was like 13 when this was at its biggest, and a little shit. So you can imagine what my thoughts on bronies were. You know, I say that like I hated them or something, but honestly, I just kind of didn't care about people liking MLP, now that I'm thinking about it. Even as a kid who was very impressionable with this kind of shit. Now, I've never watched the show, but like, it's just a cartoon. Who cares? The art style's nice, it's got positive messages. From what I've heard, it has decent plots, and mason jar stocks are up 300% since it started airing. The map here was a small section of a city with pony theming and JPEGs all over the place. It was really late when I joined this one, and there were still 2 people here, just kind of jumping around, probably in a Discord just shooting the shit or something.
Thanks. Many thanks.
I don't know if this is supposed to be like a trade map or a hangout map or what. There were bars, computer rooms, and every square foot was pony themed. I was just looking around for a bit, very sleep deprived, and ended up in the sewers. fuck was that? Am I seeing shit? The Versus Saxton Hale game mode is a pretty classic mod where one player was chosen to be Manco CEO Saxton Hale and had to kill everyone in the lobby. It's pretty fun and still very popular, even being officially added to the game pretty recently. There was a sort of spin-off of this mode called Freak Fortress, which was the same setup of one player versus everyone, but with a bunch of weird creatures and characters. Usually these were from Gmod or SFM videos where a TF2 model made a funny face or something, with the most notable example being Penis Cupcake. This was the original Dead by Daylight. I thought this mode would be kind of forgotten, but there were a handful of gamers getting freaky at 4 AM in one of these. This included a professional freaker, absolute god gamer, who was just stomping the lobby, whether he was freak or friend. This dude was actually unkillable. He was just detonator jumping across half the map with like insane movement tech, and he knew every single strategy as the freaks. I felt like I was fighting the king of gaming. It's not really the most fun mode in the world with just a handful of people though. It really requires like 12 at the minimum for a good time. If any freaks want to get freaky, you should try this one out. It's quite fun. I completely forgot that TF2ware even existed. It's just WarioWare, but in TF2. Each round you're given a small thing to do and have like 5 seconds to do it, with it speeding up the further you get. Normally it's a competition to see who can successfully complete the most challenges, but here it was just me, so I won every time. Crown me as the king of TF2ware. It's actually pretty fun, even solo. Lots of creative tasks that put TF2's unique quirks to good use. There's minigames that use sticky jumping, one where you have to sink grenade pills into a basketball hoop, and other creative micro games like having to type stuff in chat, do specific actions. You get the picture. A good chunk of them are stuff like look down and jump, but it occasionally has some bigger games as well. Overall, it's a pretty fun time, and very chaotic when it has a full lobby. While I found this one empty, it does seem like there's usually at least one server that has a bunch of people, which was nice to see. If anyone can somehow topple my high score of 7 points, I'll give you nothing. You don't get anything at all. If you've ever done as little as open TF2's server browser, you would know that trade servers take up a massive chunk of this game. Usually these come in the form of very basic, thrown together, kinda shitty trade plaza maps, which just served as a little deathmatch arena as you advertise hats you're trying to sell for 3 cents worth of metal. All while multiple children scream at each other over voice chat because one of them killed a friendly heavy. These have facilitated, I'm not kidding, probably millions of dollars worth of trades over the years. This map here, Trade Mall, seems to be Trade Plaza if it was an actually well-made map. And I gotta say, it looks pretty good. It's all mall themed and has a bunch of Easter eggs on it. Nemesis Blue, Team Fabulous 2, and a bunch of other stuff all around the map. It even had a big piano that played the class select guitar notes. I used to play on trade maps all the time, so seeing what was essentially a one-to-one remake but actually good was pretty cool. It's not directly related to this map, but like 11 years ago I joined into a high-tier trading server and forced my way into a big spy crab competition they were just about to start. I actually ended up somehow winning it out of like 20 other people. They sent me a pretty decent all-class unusual as a prize for something I had no business being a part of, but I think I got ripped off shortly after, since I was like 12, and lost it. Welcome to my hell. Alright, let's go. We got a Pokemon server. I've got so much to say about this. Okay, but I actually do have a few things. It was a pretty neat map. A small recreation in 3D of some classic Game Boy Pokemon City, no clue which one, and it included stuff like working interiors for each building. I played one just like this a few years ago on the channel, but that was a whole other Pokemon map. I looked into it and there are a ton of these. Somebody is a big fan of porting Pokemon maps to TF2. This one was called Trade Museum, and with that kind of name, my guess with it was that it would be some sort of map going over the history of different items, or possibly the history of TF2 itself. I did not expect half the map to be dedicated to the history of Denmark. Maybe a fifth of this map actually has to do with TF2, and most of that is just art pieces. The rest is dedicated to Scarface, Duke Nukem, the Batmobile, Danish pastries, and other extremely unrelated things. To be fair, the full title of the building is the Museum of Things and Stuff, so anything goes, really. I no-clipped into their locked-off VIP lounge in a private server where there was an open bar, a DJ booth with some dubstep, gambling, a stage for like stand-up, and a jacuzzi. I've never been a part of an exclusive paid-for VIP club on a TF2 server like this, if those were really even a thing. But if they were, did people actually just like hang out in these? I can't imagine there'd be more than like 4 paid VIPs on at a time. Same question for the full apartment behind a different locked off door this one had. I get the appeal for these, but like even in 2014 when this map was made, there were better alternatives for social hangout games. Overall though, this isn't a bad map, and for a 2014 trade map, I'd even call it pretty good. It's worth having a look around if you ever see it running. Way out in the middle of the desert, somewhere in Nevada perhaps, lies a Walmart, a McDonald's, and Frank's Bank. This is another map to add onto the pile of what is this even for type maps. It was a big parking lot with a few buildings surrounding it and no objectives or anything like that. The McDonald's was all boarded up, but the inside was perfectly normal and I guess set up for like maybe role-playing or something. It even had a manager's office inside. The same kind of thing went for Frank's Bank, which was always Sunny themed, but aside from that, just a normal bank. The Walmart seemed to be locked off, so I smacked a sewer grate outside because, of course, there's got to be a secret sewer area, and I fell into the secret sewer area. I don't think I could actually get back out, though. So, I wanted to have one last look around the Walmart in case I missed a secret entrance or something, and for some reason, the doors had opened. Maybe all it took was a little human sacrifice in the secret sewers. The inside wasn't really anything to write home about, though. It was just kind of a normal supermarket with most shelves being empty. I think the mapper got a bit into stocking the shelves, looked at how many were left to do, and went, dude, no, we are not finishing this. No, never mind. There were also a few areas on this one that looked like they might have stuff, but were blocked off. So I started up the map in a private server to no-clip into them. Inside the Walmart, there was an evil orange back area. There were also a bunch of spots on the map that I don't think would be possible to reach without no-clip. Like this room here with a bunch of MLG era 2015 memes. There's a few more strange, small things around the map, and overall, it's a very weird experience. Next. I wasn't gonna do a TF2 video and not play 2-4. And this one was really freaky and strange. For some freaking weird reason, my graphics were totally bugging out on this one. I don't know what the deal was with it. Like, can somebody tell me what the heck is going on here? Wow. What a sight to behold. Total glitch fest. I don't know who this is for, but there is a GM Big City server running in TF2 24/7. I don't know why this exists. You might be able to, like, build on it or something. Just go play Gmod. I was just quickly hopping on TF2 in the middle of scripting the video, long after I recorded all the other footage just to check something, and saw a server simply called Team Fortress 2, running a map called Our House Party. I, of course, being the inquisitive fella I am, joined it instantly. Aside from having like 200 ping, it seemed like a pretty normal I built a house in TF2 map. You don't see these too often though, so it was unique at least. Huh. Is that Saul Goodman? I don't even know what's going on. I'm scared. And that's a wrap. We've got a few things to discuss before we finish this one though, so let's talk for a minute. First things first, thank you for the big 300k. That's pretty cool. Thanks for being here, and I hope you stick around. Second thing, there are some big plans this year that hopefully won't get pushed back. But I'm not going to go more in depth on that. I don't want to give away too much. You'll have to wait and see. Even if the big plans fall through, you can expect more than like 4 videos in total this year. That's a promise. Don't forget to have a look at the Patreon if you haven't yet. There's some pretty cool bonus videos on there, if I do say so myself. They're released monthly, and they've got some pretty neat exclusive stuff in them. With that out of the way though, I don't want to take up too much time here. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.